Hi, I'm back to vlogging, I think. Did you eat a snack?
Yeah.
What did you eat?
A punch.
Where's your baby? Can you say hi?
What? Nico. Mama.
I needed a little break there. I was so exhausted after, if you've been following along, we spent 3 months in Europe testing out living in Amsterdam. I unexpectedly got pregnant with our second while we were there, and Clayton and I were both working freelance and watching Nico didn't have childcare. It was an amazing experience, but I was so tired when we got home and honestly needed like the past month to just like recalibrate. So I'm feeling way better. I'm almost halfway through this pregnancy, which is so wild, but I'm ready to start vlogging again. And so I think this week I'm just gonna like take you along and see what happens, do just like a little bit of a candid week in the life. But I also really want to focus on showing what I do for like self-care, body, mind maintenance while I'm pregnant. I'm very passionate about this topic because I think it can be hard to like justify expenses that are like self-care, and I've completely been there. I did not grow up with a lot of money, and so my first like 10 years out of college were very focused on like making money and saving money, and I had a lot of scarcity mentality around that, and it was honestly very hard for me to spend money on things that weren't like necessities. Feel very different now about that. I feel a lot more comfortable with money and seeing it as energy and seeing it as something that goes through me, and also seeing the value in putting money towards things that give me energy back, because when I have more energy I create more, which then creates more money, and it's actually like the cycle. It's not something to just like collect. So that concept applies really well when you're thinking like self-care, because like how I feel physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually directly impacts how I show up in all the areas of my life, not just work. And so to me, it's less about like the dollar signs, and it's about like, how much do I value this? I also think that there are ways to do self-care in a way that like matches different budgets. So I want to share that along the way, but I just feel like whenever I like watch like pregnancy vlogs, all I really hear about is like, what am I eating and what am I doing to like work out? And I'm just kind of like tired of that narrative. I'm an intuitive eater. I had disordered eating for a really long time, and so I'm just not really interested in like a formula or a list of rules, because honestly it didn't really work for me in the end. Like it always backfires, and I just think your body is really wise, and listening to it, especially when you're pregnant, is super valuable. Like I know when I need red meat, I know when I need more carbs, like my cravings mean something, and so I really listen to that. Also though, I am a person who like just enjoys eating healthy, so I'm not really worried about like, I don't know, eating an entire bag of potato chips. Like that's just not my personality. So I understand some personalities maybe need more structure and rules to like feel your best. So no judgment there. It's just like, I don't really need to know what like a pregnant person is eating. I'm just like listening to my body. Like this morning I had pancakes and bacon, and they were gluten-free pancakes and like had good ingredients in them, and it was really good quality bacon that doesn't have like sugar and nitrates, but that's what my body wanted, and I feel really good, and I'm not really concerned about that. Working out, same thing. I used to be like very controlling about how I worked out. I did like very high intensity workouts and was like very just focused on needing to work out every single day. Before I became pregnant, I realized like that backfires eventually. Like my body had really high cortisol, which is a stress hormone, which throws off all your other hormones. And so it was actually when I started doing like lower impact workouts, walking, Pilates, yoga, that's when my body actually got in like the best shape of its life. Again, not the case for everyone. Like I learned that by working with a specific health coach and functional medicine doctor who like tested my hormones. But I do find that a lot of women, especially just like the female body, doesn't really respond to like high intensity workouts the way that maybe men do. So it's just something to consider. So I learned a lot of this about like intuitive eating, low intensity workouts, how that works for my body before I got pregnant. And so when I was pregnant with Nico, my first, I just kind of applied that same model. And anytime I like felt like I needed to like be like more intense about like how I was eating or working out, I was just like, remember that like relaxing, creating space, being soft actually always works better for you. And that did work really well for me. I felt great physically pregnant and postpartum with Nico. So that's what I have to say about like diet and working out. And honestly, those are like not the most important things for me when I think about self-care and pregnancy. My main things, it's actually kind of a long list. I do love self-care. Pelvic floor therapist, proactively. I started seeing a pelvic floor therapist when I was pregnant with Nico before I had any problems. I was just like, I want someone to check things out, let me know how it's looking, and give me specific exercises for my body to work on leading up to birth. And then I did a push practice a couple weeks before birth where she literally puts her hands inside you and she says, push, like do what you think pushing is, and tells you like if you're doing it properly, gives you some feedback. That was so helpful. So when I actually went to push during labor, like I knew how to do it effectively and in a way that was like pushing, but also relaxing and opening my pelvic floor. So I barely tore, which was my goal. And then postpartum, I had her come check me at 6 weeks to check everything out and give me exercises to make sure that everything was healing really properly. Could not recommend that more. Pelvic floor therapists are expensive, but even if you have one appointment, just one, that gives you like exercises to work on during pregnancy, it's so worth it because you think, oh, like I should just do Kegels because like that's what you hear on the internet is like do Kegels to like strengthen your pelvic floor. But if a pelvic floor therapist looks at your specific body, like me, for example, she's like, you need to be doing like the opposite of Kegels. You need to be practicing relaxing and releasing. And also I had like one hip that was tighter than the other. Like it's not just about your pelvic floor, it's connected to like your hips, your lower back, your shoulders, like everything is connected. And so I actually had to have very specific exercises that were not the classic like Kegel exercises that you would see generically online. The second thing, it's hard to put it like in order. I do see a chiropractor. I think this is more important near the end, just making sure that the baby is in a good position and like your hips and pelvis are in a good position too, so they can like physically adjust to make sure there's a lot of room, things aren't crooked. And for me, it was just really making sure like the baby's head was like locked and loaded. Just because you're gonna dilate the best, the baby's gonna come out the best, versus like if the baby kind of comes in at an angle. And I feel like a chiropractor can like help adjust like hips and that area really well to get things ready to go. But right now I'm trying to do it about every 3 weeks, like once a month, just to help with overall maintenance. Sometimes my lower back will hurt, shoulders and necks, just keeping things aligned is super helpful. Acupuncture. I loved acupuncture even before getting pregnant. It really helps me with like lowering that cortisol, keeping my hormones balanced. So I knew that that was gonna be really good for me long-term in pregnancy as well. Acupuncture can also be expensive. So I found a place near me. It does community acupuncture. I did this in Brooklyn as well. So I'm pretty sure like most cities have community acupuncture. Basically what it is that like mine, it's like $25 for an hour-long session instead of like $125, because it's just like a big open room where everyone's getting their acupuncture. But it's not weird because like if you've ever done acupuncture, like you go in, you like either lay down on a table or like on a chair. They kind of talk to you, what are you looking for, what do you need, and then they put all the needles in you and set you up, and then they leave because you just have to sit there for like 45 minutes or an hour with the needles in you for it to work. So even if you have a private session, they set you up and then they just leave you. And so to me, it doesn't matter if there's like other people in the room because I just like close my eyes, put in headphones, I'll listen to meditation music or my hypnobirth tracks. Hypnobirthing is a whole other conversation, but I got certain tracks that just help you basically like rewire your brain to see birth as this like really positive experience. So either way, my eyes are closed and I'm just kind of chilling, so it doesn't really matter to me if there's people around because everyone's doing that. So that's a way to make acupuncture more affordable. A good masseuse. So this is where I start being like, oh my gosh, Hope, you're being a little bougie. A masseuse in my head used to be like you're just paying for like an hour of relaxation. until I found a really good masseuse who understood my body and like the anatomy. And so is massaging more as almost like a physical therapist. And so it's giving you these long-term benefits. So keeping muscles like soft and open is also really important, I think, in pregnancy. Keeping the lymphatic system moving, because you can start just kind of feeling like blah and like heavy, not from like weight heavy. And I think that's a lot of like lymph, like you just have extra fluid in your body and blood, and it's really nice to have someone that helps know how to like get that stuff moving so you still feel like light and energetic. Therapy, that in general, whether you're pregnant or not, for me has been amazing. I started seeing a therapist. I've been seeing a therapist regularly since 2020. I started seeing a new one after I became a mom. Someone that just really understood a little bit more of the like maternal wound stuff that I want to explore, and generational trauma, and trying to understand as I become a mother, understanding the mothers before me, what they've been through and how that might be passing on to me, and then just like life stuff in general. I would recommend not just a talk therapist, but looking into either an embodiment coach or a somatic psychotherapist. Both of those are more focused on like how does emotions like move through your body, and helping you move through that instead of just thinking cognitively like I know what happened. Helping you understand how like when you have an emotion in the moment, how to process it. That's incredibly helpful with having a toddler, because being able to emotionally self-regulate is so important, so I don't lose my temper and I can help teach him how to emotionally regulate himself. And then also just being pregnant, I don't want emotions sitting in here. Again, I'm trying to keep things like fluid and open. I think that's everything. That's a lot of self-care. I will say though, I just think that there's a way to prioritize what's most important. So like sometimes I'll get my nails done, but like I would rather just do my own nails and like see my pelvic floor therapist, or like, I don't know, getting like your lashes done or your eyebrows. Like for me, I would just so much rather put my money right now towards things that are going to give me like the most amount of energy back. Like I don't buy a ton of maternity clothes. I just think that there are places that money go where I'm like, what is going to give me the most energy, and thinking about it that way instead of like, how much does this cost? So for me, what gives me the most energy right now is interacting with healers. I am about to have another, like the most energetic output of my life is giving birth. I need people who are giving me energy in. I need that like nurturing, mothering. So it's 100% worth it to me to spend that time and money. But I'll show you, because I have a couple of appointments this week, so I'll try to take you along. A lot of these appointments, so it's like hard to take my camera in, or at least like awkward. So I might just like kind of talk you through some that I actually have this week. But yeah, it's kind of like a part-time job maintaining my body through pregnancy, so I feel freaking good. But I will say my pregnancy with Nico is amazing. Literally a couple minutes after pushing him out, I was like, can we please do that again? It was so fun. And postpartum, I felt great and like felt like myself pretty quickly. Caveat, I'm not saying that that's because I did all of these things before. You could do all those things before and still have a really hard time, and that's completely valid. I'm not trying to invalidate anyone's experience. I do think a lot of it is like genetic or luck. So knock on wood, I am trying to also keep an open mind that just because I do all the same things I did with Nico does not mean I'm going to have like an equally amazing experience. There's always flukes that can happen. So just like being prepared for that as well. But I do think it makes a huge difference. I would be a shell of myself right now, I think, if I was not doing this level of self-care. I think I'd feel pretty shitty. Anyway, oh my God, I just talked for so long. Let's get on with what's happening this week. Hi, I am getting ready to head to yoga class. It's actually like a bar and yoga class. It's at my local yoga studio, and I like love the vibe, I love the aesthetic, and they just started doing these bar classes that I feel like are perfect while I'm pregnant, because it's really working the muscles that my pelvic floor therapist has flagged to me as important. So like engaging your pelvic floor and like all those abdominal muscles, building glutes, which has been really important for me to help with lower back pain. And it's all like low intensity, which I've just found is best for me. Even before I was pregnant, I learned the hard way that low intensity for my body is best. I used to be very hard on my body. I love working out. So like, it's genuinely fun for me. I would do like these HIIT workouts. I would do Orange Theory. I would work out every single day. And it backfired to where like I actually felt like I held on to weight and felt really puffy because it actually spiked my cortisol, my stress hormone, and made me, my body really stressed. And as soon as I like chilled out a little bit, ate more carbs, relaxed, slept in, skipped the workouts, and started doing more low intensity, I actually got in the best shape of my life. So I've adopted that same method for during pregnancy. Also, sorry if the AC is so loud while I'm talking. I just realized that. It's hot. So yeah, I've adopted the same philosophy with pregnancy, and it worked out great with Nico. Like, I feel like physically I felt really good. And like gained a normal amount of weight without having to like overdo it. And I think old me would have felt like I needed to like push myself so hard, work out every single day to make sure that I was one of those like fit pregnant people. And I'm just gonna tell you, I think your body just like gains what it needs to gain when it's pregnant. I don't think you can control that much. And also, I do think pushing yourself too hard, especially as a female, like your hormones just a lot of times don't respond well to that. So I don't push it too much. I do try to walk every day. I try to get between like 5,000 and 10,000 steps, but I also am trying to chill out about that too, because I used to then make it this goal that like if I didn't hit 10,000 steps, I felt bad. And I'm kind of just trying to let go of tracking in numbers, but we do like to walk as a family. So like this morning we walked for probably 45 minutes as a family. So we do get our steps in. And then outside of that, I do this barre class now, probably about 2 days a week if I can make it to the studio. It just feels so good to go to a studio. Like, it feels like self-care. So I go when I have the time, and then outside of that, I'll do some like Pilates at home. I've had Melissa Wood's like membership for years because it's so inexpensive. It's so easy. You can like fit it in anytime, and honestly, it's like pretty effective for me. But I do not work out every day, by no means. But let's head to barre class. Good morning. It's 8:20. I have a call in 10 minutes. This is a weekly call I have with one of my favorite clients. It's great and gets my day started early, but I'm feeling kind of frazzled today because we were in Florida all last week visiting Clayton's family. And so I just feel like when you get home, there's a lot to catch up on, and I'm just feeling like kind of at capacity. I was actually just watching a vlog while I was getting ready of this girl who's like wellness girly. You know, not married, doesn't have kids, and that is totally fine. But it actually was making me feel almost more stressed because like seeing her lifestyle of like green juices and long workouts and walks on the beach, and I was just like in a very different phase. Like, I'm pregnant and I have a toddler, and I'm trying to still make a full-time salary, but in like part-time hours, and still take care of my body and eat healthy, and it's just like a lot sometimes. So this morning is very work heavy. So I have this weekly meeting that I have with a client. So I help them with social media strategy. They're a brand based in New York City, and I love working with them. A lot of my work with them is asynchronous, which is my goal as a consultant, to really minimize meetings, because for me, when I was full-time, meetings were the biggest time suck, honestly. So this is where we kind of all align, like the whole team on a call, and then from there, I'm working in Asana, I'm working on Slack, I'm working asynchronously. So I can just get answers that way, and also I'm just kind of running with a lot of things without needing a ton of collaboration, which is super helpful. And then after that, I have a phone call with a new potential client that I'm excited for. This is actually an author whose book I read like a long time ago. I think it was like 6 years ago, and we lived in Charleston. It was about hormones. So I'm gonna talk to her and see what she needs help with and see if I'm a good fit. I'm very picky with clients. Not picky, but I just ask a lot of questions, and I'm very honest about what I do and what I don't do, because I never want to end up in a situation where I'm like, oh yeah, sure, I can help with that. And then you get into it and you're like, this wasn't a good fit. So I think I'll just know from talking with her if it makes sense for me to add her in as a client. And then after that, Clayton and I are gonna meet with our accountants. Because Clayton and I are both freelance, we both have our own LLCs, which makes filing taxes just like a little more complicated. You want the experts to do it. So we're gonna meet with them and just chat through a couple things, make sure we're squared away. And then after that, I need to film some ads. I work with an agency who works with a lot of like amazing brands, and they then contract me to make ads for the brands, so UGC. So I create the content for them, edit it into like videos, GIFs, statics for ads, and then I send it to the agency and they post on behalf of the client. So I don't have to actually post anything myself, like on my channels. So that's like UGC content that I make. I have to film, I think 2 of those this week. I definitely have to film one this afternoon. And then by the end of the week, I have to film an ad that is something that I'm gonna post on my own accounts. I'm very particular about what I post like to my community on Instagram or TikTok, because that feels like my personal endorsement. So this is a brand I'm actually really excited about. It has to do with like self-care and pregnancy. So it was like very aligned. I say no to a lot of brands because it feels like weird to just like post something. My Instagram and TikTok feel like very personal and like a reflection of who I am, and it just feels weird to like post a random product that I don't actually love. Somewhere in there, I would love to go on a walk, hang out with Nico, eat healthy food. You know, there's just like so many things I want to do every day. But we do have a sitter this morning. So Clayton's downstairs right now. The sitter should be here in like 5 minutes. And then that way Clayton can work this morning too. So we have help until his nap time. So that's very helpful. And we didn't have that when we were in Amsterdam. So honestly, having a babysitter 2 days a week has been very helpful. But I'm still just sometimes, there's just some mornings where I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, like I just need a minute, you know? I need to fill up my water. That's what I need to do. That should help me. I'm just showing my little outfit. We did it, Joe. We did it. We made it through all of our freaking meetings. We filmed an ad that I still need to edit tonight in bed. Still have so much work to do tomorrow, but we did it. It's what, like 4 p.m. and we're going on a little family walk because it's freaking 10 degrees cooler than it usually is. It's only like 83 instead of like 100 or like 96. So we can actually go on like on a walk in the middle of the day, when usually in the summer in Nashville you can only go on a walk if you go on a walk at like 7 a.m. So very happy about that. Very. Also so excited that tonight is pho night.
Every night is pho night right now for Hope.
I crave pho so bad right now. Hold on a second. I am 18 weeks pregnant right now, and I have been craving pho every single day for the past few weeks. I've never craved pho. I don't even like pho. But this pregnancy, man, I just want a big vat of like hot chicken broth. Yeah, you want some of my chicken? Chicken. I'm so happy. So this comes from Eastside Pho. If you're in Nashville, this is the best. Don't mind these boxes. This is more products that I have to film for an ad later this week. More chicken. Dude, this pho is all I want every single day. Every single day of pregnancy. It's so simple. But Eastside Pho, where do they get their meat from?
Like local farms.
They get them from like local farms, so the meat is so good, the chicken broth, like everything's like high quality. You know, it's like well made. It just tastes like your mom's homemade chicken noodle soup, and you're just like, this would heal me of anything. Hi, I just cried my eyes out in therapy in like the best way. It's virtual, so obviously I'm still like I'm in sweats and working in bed. It's a mess this morning. I woke up and felt like I'd been hit by a truck. Like my body was just like aching, and I was nauseous and just ugh. So we were having a sitter come already this morning, thank God, our sitter, Cece. And so Clayton went to go work, Nico's with Cece, and then I was like, I'm gonna take therapy in bed because I talked to her virtually, and then I'm gonna work in bed. And that's what I need today. So Clayton brought me my little coffee. I got my water. I've got my blueberry muffins for when I get hungry again. But then I had therapy. I feel like becoming a mother, at least for me, having a child, brought up a lot of new things that like mother history, like my mother, her mother, my grandmother, thinking about like any generational trauma, and also just thinking about like my identity as a woman, feminine energy. My therapist also happens to be a sex therapist, which is amazing. I'm like so fascinated by like sexuality and eroticism and how that energy is connected to like every area of your life. It's about so much more than just sex. It's connected to like your ability to understand what you want and desire in life, or your power, your confidence. Like it's so freaking cool. It makes me honestly like want to go back to school and like study eroticism. So it's been so good working with her, but today's session, I don't know, it just felt like a good release. And I had a good cry at the end that honestly was like, I'm so proud of you kind of cry, which is not an easy emotion for me to access. Like I'm an achiever, I'm very type A, like there's always more for me to do, right? And I feel like I'm learning how to turn like my motherly energy on myself. I like love mothering, I love nurturing. It comes very natural to me to like nurture Clayton and Nico, and to turn that on myself feels new and really sweet. To be like, damn, like I'm really proud of you. Like I love my life, and I feel like genuinely really happy with like the day-to-day I've created. Like I feel like for the first time I feel just like content. Again, a new emotion for me to access. I usually am like, why don't you like change something or achieve something more, or like get a different job or move somewhere or get a better house or travel somewhere. And of course I still have goals in my life, but I just like feel this contentment that I haven't felt in a while. And I think it's because really like my day-to-day feels good. And I think that's the stuff that's like really important to nail. Instead of these big goals that kind of come every so often, it's like, what are you doing day to day? And overall, I really like it right now. So I just felt like proud of myself for working through some hard stuff and for realizing I have a life that like I did create and I really love. Like that's just like, you kind of got to stop sometimes and just be like, okay, you're doing it. It's hard and you're freaking exhausted right now, but like overall you're good. But then I got off my call crying, and then I look at my phone and Clayton was like, hey, don't make any plans tomorrow morning. I booked you a prenatal massage. And then I started like sobbing more because I'm like, I love my husband. I love Clayton. Such a sweetheart to like do that for me, because I wouldn't book that myself, but he just knew after talking to me this morning. He's like, you're not doing so great, are you? Like, I love my life. I am pregnant. I'm 18 weeks pregnant, taking care of Nico, working a lot. Just don't feel the best, even though I do take care of myself. I'm not a martyr. I went to yoga this week, or bar, and saw my pelvic floor therapist, like, but he just knew I needed a little extra this week. So that's super sweet. So I am going to drink some more coffee. Hope that caffeine really kicks in, because I need to knock out some work here. And yeah, it doesn't really look like sexy businesswoman mode, but sometimes you just gotta like get it done however it needs to get done. So today it looks like this. Who's that? Tell us, what did you do with Cece? Tell us.
Cece.
Yeah. Did you go to the park? Can you say park?
Park.
Did you go on the swing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you go down the slide?
No.
Yeah. What else did you do? Did you read books?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you eat a snack?
Yum.
What did you eat?
A pouch.
You had a pouch? Did you eat anything else?
I said no.
Cereal? Did you play with Yoda Mini?
Yeah.
What song did you listen to?
A muffin.
The Muffin Man! That's your favorite song, The Muffin Man. Where's your baby? Can you say hi? Oh, say hi, baby.
Bye.
Yeah. Can you give him a kiss? Good morning. feeling a lot better, and this is my comfy, cozy fit to go get a massage. I did pack my laptop though, so I can get some work done before or after. This is my little Cezanne bag from Amsterdam. I love it. But yeah, I should probably work before, right? I think I'm gonna squeeze it in. I just need to like answer a couple emails, and then I just want to be able to like enjoy the massage and relax. So Clayton has Nico for the morning, and I'm gonna go treat myself.
Oh. Camera.
Camera. Can you show the camera how you do the Q-tips? Show us your special trick. Put the Q-tips in. Good job.
Good job, baby. You look really pretty this morning.
Thanks.
Camera. Nico. Mama.
Hey Nico, who are we gonna go see? Who are we gonna go play with?
Over here.
Raya!
Over here.
Raya. We're gonna go get in the car and we're gonna go play with Raya. We're gonna go, it's our first time, it's at this like community center. They have like a play group thing, and apparently they have like tons of toys and bounce houses. What are you gonna do? And Nico's bestie Raya, we're neighbors. They love each other. They're like 3 months apart. Hi, that was a very busy morning. I took Nico to this Playdate play group thing in a gym with tons of toys. We are gonna have a good nap time because he wore himself out. It was good. Got home, did lunch, and then Clayton is putting him down for a nap so I can catch up on work. I'm probably gonna work for like an hour or two, get in a good place before the weekend, and then I'm gonna deep clean the house. I'm so excited. I got cut off in that last clip because my battery died, but I just finished a little bit of work. And what I was saying is that I actually love cleaning the house on Friday because then you wake up on the weekend and your house is crispy and clean. There's literally no better feeling. So it's a huge motivation. And Premier League soccer is back tomorrow. And it's like a holiday in our house because then like every Saturday morning is soccer, and we make like bacon and pancakes and cozy up on the couch in our robes, and we watch soccer like every weekend from here on out. It's gonna be so fun. So I am very motivated. The only thing that has me unmotivated is that I recently found better cleaners. Pretty particular with the cleaners that come to our house, and I finally found someone that I love, and I love her so much that I want her to come every week. She's been coming about once to twice a month, which is amazing, like such a privilege. But then you get used to it and you're like, why am I doing it? I just want to pay her to do it because honestly, like time is money. Between me and Clayton both working freelance, squished into part-time hours, watching Nico, I feel like we deserve it. But you know, I can also do it myself and save some money. So I'm gonna focus on that. I'm gonna like turn on a fun podcast, and it's gonna feel good, right? Like I'm a Virgo, I love cleaning. Are you watching soccer? Are you watching soccer? Aggies? And you watching Arsenal? Hi, happy Sunday. I usually like to have a solo working session at a coffee shop on Sunday mornings. I don't know what it is. Since I've gone freelance, I just feel like Sunday mornings are my jam. No one else is online. I can just like power through some deep work. So I definitely have some deep work I need to power through, and then it makes me feel so much better going into Monday because usually I like to take Mondays a little bit more chill. Anyway, I was gonna go walk to the same cafe I always go to for my Sunday morning session, and I was just like, do you want to do that? And I was like, no, I don't. I actually would like to sit at home in my like comfy clothes and work from home. And Clayton and Nico are running errands. So I was like, they can just bring me home coffee and try to like stay out of the house so I can just focus. So we're changing it up a bit. After that, I do need to film an ad. that's always a hard one because you want to feel like creatively inspired, but I'm like, no, like you actually have to just do it today. And I was trying to do it yesterday, but of course it started raining, and so all the natural light was gone, and I was like, well, I need like glowy natural light, like that's my thing. So I'm gonna film an ad and then hopefully have like a beat to breathe and chill before we then go hang out with some friends and my sister-in-law tonight. So it's kind of a busy Sunday, but it's gonna be worth it. Whew, where do we begin? Where do we begin? You guys, the latte is latteing today. It's just the best news. Like, I have great energy, which is good because I just finished like 4 hours of deep work at my desk, knocked out some stuff that I've been really wanting to get done for work. Does this not go higher? I was gonna kind of set this up and just show you what I'm doing next. Next, I have to film an ad. This is actually an ad that I'm going to post on my own accounts, which is rare. What a terrible setup. I'm so sorry. Clearly, I'm a content creator. I'm starting to film just like the unboxing part and like the product part, because that's the easiest. And then from there, I'll have to like get dressed and be in some of the clips. And then Nico's taking a nap, but then he's gonna be in some clips too. So I'm trying to like do a little bit at a time. I'm not like filming it in order of when it's going to be in the video. I'm just kind of doing like, okay, let's get all the unboxing and product shots, video and photos first. Then let's do like all the video and photos of me with it, and then all the video and photos of me and Nico with it, and then I will edit it together. So enjoy. I'm gonna wipe my camera to make sure it's nice and clean. I really like this spot because I get good natural light in here through this. The pillows are out of the way. My shadows are in the way. So usually I just set up this little like dinky tripod, and then I always zoom in a little bit. I feel like that helps with like the depth of field. It just kind of makes it like look a little bit more profesh and a little bit less like just my phone. What's up? Oh yeah.
Pressure washer.
Pressure washer. Clayton is going to go pressure wash our porch, because we have a little porch outside of our kitchen, and I want to put Nico's water table out there instead of the backyard, because he could like play with that while I'm cooking and like while Clayton's cooking and like still watch him.
So cute.
So he's gonna do that, and I'm gonna film while Nico naps. The story of two working parents, always multitasking. Okay, so we're gonna clear this. Here's the box. I think that's gonna be good. Yes. Okay. Okay, this is adorable. Hi, I am just gonna hang out here on my yoga mat and do some exercises that my pelvic floor therapist sent me. So I just got this email a couple days ago, and she sends all these exercises very specific to what she found during my appointment. So I had an appointment earlier this week that I wish I could have just like recorded the whole thing, because it's always so interesting. I learn so much about myself, my body, and then we just have like a really good conversations every time. So this is Jenny Archer. If you live in Nashville, look up Jenny Archer Physical Therapy. She has a practice. She has a couple other like people that work with her. I just love Jenny. We talked about like motherhood and therapy and energy healing and all the things. She does house visits. So she literally comes to my house. She sets up the table, makes you really comfortable. When I first started working with her when I was pregnant with Nico, that first appointment was a lot of like internal exams. Like she does like put her hands inside you, and she's like feeling your muscles and, you know, getting a lay of the land, helping you understand what exercises can be beneficial for pregnancy, birth, postpartum, all of that. But this appointment was a lot of like external body work. So she found like my lower back and my neck and my shoulders were all really tight. So she like physically moved a lot of that. She's just like so smart and understands how everything's connected. She can do like dry needling too. One of the people that works for her did that for me when I was a couple months postpartum. I was feeling a lot of lower back pain, which I found was because you have higher relaxin, which is this hormone when you're breastfeeding. You have it when you're pregnant too, but I didn't realize you have like a lot when you're nursing as well. And it means that like your ligaments and your like vertebrae, everything's just like looser. So I was doing all this yoga thinking it would really help my lower back, and it was actually counterproductive because every time I did like a downward dog, those vertebrae like stretched apart, and like there's all these discs in between each vertebrae. One of them just kind of like would slip out because I was like overstretching, and that hurts. So we did a lot of work on like strengthening my glutes so that my glutes would take over instead of my lower back muscles, and then avoiding forward folds, overstretching, that sort of thing. So I've had dry needling done in the past from that at my house. But this time she just did a lot of body work, and then she just sent me these exercises. A lot of them are helping like loosen up those muscles in the lower back and shoulders. And then it looks like some more glute work, hips, and transverse abdominis training, which she like teaches you in person. It's so hard to figure out how to do that just like on a video, but I really understand now how to like engage my pelvic floor, your TAs, and then how to, when I'm doing an ab workout, see if I have any doming. Once it starts doming, you gotta stop or modify, because that can really cause more diastasis recti issues in the future. So she's just, I mean, she's so good. Could not recommend her enough. Like if you live in Nashville, please have an appointment with her, even just one. Every woman, even if you're not pregnant or haven't had a baby, but especially if you are pregnant or have had a baby. Okay, I'm gonna go do these exercises. I'm losing my mind. I have to film another ad this afternoon. I sound like a freaking broken record in this vlog. And then we're gonna go on like a little walk as a family and make dinner, but I'm going to end the vlog here because I have talked so freaking much. I just feel like we had like so much to catch up on, you know? Like I just had to get you caught up. So next vlogs can be like more vibey, aesthetic, some music playing. I think this was just like a lot of talking. So I hope you hung in there. Thanks for following along. I hope you're having a good one.